Howdy, y'all. I know it's been a long time since I've done one of these front porch talks and talked about uh, child loss and grief and what I'm going through right now. And so I thought I owed it to everybody to give you a little bit of an update. I think that I have somehow transitioned into the acceptance phase, so to speak. And that might only be because I've tried to keep my mind and myself busy and fill those gaps with our new dog, buying tractors and projects out in the shop, which I'm absolutely loving to work on. The D4 project has been great. Not only has it helped me, it has helped my dad. So, and the two of us worked together. We had a family excavating business here in Colorado. My grandfather and my dad started I think in 71, and we hung it up in the 2016 time frame. And but up until that point, I had worked with my grandfather and my dad every day of my life. So it's been a good thing to have my dad back into my life close again. And it's been very therapeutic for both of us to work and to have a project and a common goal and to work together again. And it's ironic and it's funny because when we did work together, we fought like cats and dogs, my dad and I. Grandpa and I, we always got along great. I think our personalities are a lot alike. My dad's kind of a firebrand, but he's a great guy. And it was funny because a lot of our customers used to say that we should start a show, call it American Excavator, but more based on the American Choppers sort of thing. But we always got a kick out of that. And, we burned out running a business that long. It takes a toll on everybody involved in the family. So it's been nice to be with Dad and work with Dad again, and we've been working very well together out there in our common goal. It's frustrating we're not being able to find the parts and things, but it's also been therapeutic. We get to talk it out. My mom and my wife both don't like to talk about it, and this gives my dad and I an opportunity to talk about it. But we've got to be very careful not to go over that slippery slope where we both just completely start crying and losing it, but we can talk about it. It's always difficult out in the shop because of how involved my son was out there and how mechanically inclined and electrically inclined that he was. So every time we come up against those problems that we would like to talk to him about and get his advice, it brings back memories, his tools. There's reminders everywhere out there. But I think I'm at a point now that I don't want to say live with it, but I can tolerate it because I'll never be able to live with it. The idea of that he's gone, I still struggle with. But I've accepted the fact that it's happened. And this YouTube channel has also been a great thing for me. I think it's been very therapeutic from the start. I'm seeing the success that my son and I really wanted out of this channel happen. We're getting a lot of users, comments, a lot of subscribers, and I'm absolutely loving the community. There are some fantastic people out there, more than I ever knew, and it has been a blessing in disguise. So, what can I say? I'm loving the YouTube channel. Things are positive. We're heading in a positive direction. I don't think that the grief will ever go away. I struggle with it daily, but I'm at a positive place where I can cope with it and work around it and manage my life and move on with my life and function. There's still that little bit of grief brain left that does hinder decisions and things that I do that I think will be with me for quite some time. And before I go, I did want to share one more story. It's a very unique story. But after we quit the family business, I went to work for the United States Antarctic program. And I had different duties down there. Did a few seasons, initially as just an operator, and then as a department supervisor for the heavy equipment department at McMurdo Station. And during, not this last season, but the season before, I got down there, nothing seemed to go right. I just had this urge to get home, that I needed to get home, needed to get home. And I got home. And thank God I did. And I think God had a hand in it for sure. But that was the last Thanksgiving and the last Christmas that I shared with my son. And I am grateful every day that I had that, because it was later that winter, early spring, that we did lose my son. And so that did give me faith. It solidified my faith. And it absolutely changed my thinking. It was no accident that I came home. And I did do another season after that. I was working full-time for the Antarctic program, but I no longer work there. I have a lot of wonderful stories, wonderful friends and coworkers, and I do recommend it. It's a great adventure. I do recommend it for people that are looking for work as a heavy equipment operator or mechanic, you name it. They have all kinds of jobs down there, and it is something that I do not regret. I do regret the time that I missed away from my son, being deployed for such extended periods of time. But all in all, it was a positive experience for me, and it was actually one of the last conversations I had with my son about my work down there, which he encouraged wholeheartedly all the way. So it's just a story I wanted to share with everybody, and I think it's to me, it is a very heartwarming story, and it is a story that I hold near and dear, and it has a lot of meaning, and it definitely changed my life, thinking back. At the time, I didn't think much of it. It was nothing. I thought I just needed to get home. I needed to be with my family. I thought I was just having the homesick like everybody else. But in hindsight, something called me home. And I will be grateful for that for the rest of my life until we meet again. I do want to thank everybody who's been watching my videos, subscribing, and I really, really appreciate the support in the comments. It's been very heartwarming. I love the tractor community. I want to be a bigger part of it. I would love to go to some events and meet fellow tractor folks. Hopefully I can get that D4 going and take it to some events. I'm a little nervous about it at this point. Those parts are getting super hard to come by. But I'm enjoying the experience with my father. Thank you all. And we'll see you on the next one.